God is simply the intelligence behind creation. The word God doesn't have to be said or even thought of to realize the intelligence behind creation. You can spiritually evolve with the word God or without the word God. Because the intelligence behind creation, the name given to that we know of is the word God. And that's the word that we're most familiar with. However, it doesn't need that label entirely because when people hear the word God, they just refer back to whatever organized religion they were born into. And so they may have some detestment towards that because they just view God as the God in the New Testament or the God in the Quran or the Torah and so on. So they just refer to God as the God that was in their scriptures. However, the word God doesn't have to be used at all in your spiritual growth. Those who use the word God who are not tied to any religion, who are spiritual and walk the spiritual path, when they use the word God, that is just what they resonate with strongly. They strongly resonate with it. So it is something that they can, it is a word that they can truly feel within the depths of their soul. So they would use that word. However, there are spiritual beings who never even use the word God. Buddha doesn't use the word God at all. He just refers to, he doesn't even use the word spirit. He just refers to the material and the immaterial. That which is material and that which is not material. He doesn't even use the word spirit. He doesn't even use the word God. When Buddha was asked, is there a God? He would say yes. And then next time he was asked, is there a God? He would say no. Because it doesn't matter whether somebody believes in God or doesn't believe in God. It really doesn't matter because it comes down to your spiritual experience. The individual who begins to face the existential and ask the most important questions and really has that fire within them to want to seek out the truth, they want to know the truth above all else, they will eventually reach a point where they will be in touch with the intelligence that is behind creation. And then you can put the label God on that. If it resonates with you, you can use the word God for it. But you don't have to use the word God at all. Because the Buddhists, the Zen monks, the Buddhists, those who have reached that enlightenment state, you'll notice if you look at the Zen writings, they don't even use the word God at all. They don't even use the word spirit most of the time. A majority of the time, you'll see they won't even use the word spirit because these are just words. They may resonate with a certain spiritual being, but they may not resonate with other spiritual beings. These are simply just words. You don't take the word as the whole and the only truth, because if you were to take, for example, people of lower states of consciousness, when they read scriptures, they can become really like zealous because they're just looking at the words and only seeing the surface level, and they're not willing to see the depths. They can't crack the code because scriptures are symbolic. They're not literal, it's symbolic. But humans are very word oriented creatures, so they take the word as the whole and they're not able to see past the word. So you can grow with God or without God. The word is not important. It only matters if it resonates to the individual. Some like to use the word God, who have realized the intelligence behind creation, and others who have realized the intelligence behind creation don't use the word God. So it's not about the word God at all. It's about the individual facing the existential, having the fire within them to want to face the truth, wanting to know what all of this is. This is spirituality. This is spirituality because spirituality is based off the individual. It's not about a group. You see, believers gather in groups and they have a hive mind and they just follow whatever the preacher says, the pastor, the imam, and so on, the priest. They just follow the will of that individual. They don't have their own independent thoughts. They don't have, they allow their free will to be invaded by someone else. They don't have individual freedom and they don't think for themselves. They don't have that. So you'll notice with people who follow organized religions, they don't have critical thinking skills. And they don't have that independence, that freedom to seek the truth. They want everything to be told for them to make life easier. But the individual who really wants to know, who's a very tough nut to crack, who really wants to know, they have to have that fire within them to seek out the truth. They have to be willing to seek out the truth. And an individual who has that fire in them and is willing to seek out the truth will eventually come in touch with the intelligence that is behind creation, which you can call God or you don't have to call God at all. It is simply the intelligence that is behind creation. And if you are willing to seek it, you will eventually find it. It will come to you eventually because it's already within you. It is just the individual who has to be willing to tap into it. Okay? Peace.